Deroy Crews here, your life applications officer.
Number one, anyone that's been watching my channel knows that I'm not black conscious. Neither do I baby, spoil, or agree with black people.
I'm so hoarse. Just wanna thank you, Lord, that I can breathe today. Oh, I can breathe.
Deroy Crews.
I love me some white people.
Deroy Crews.
I love me some white people.
That's another dumb thing that black people jump. That's another dumb thing that black people jump. Deroy Crews.
I love me some white people.
Deroy Crews.
Black. Next to every good black person is a fuck.
I just wanna thank you, Lord, that I can breathe today. Yes, I can hear because of all you've done in me. Now that's just a piece of the song.
Look here, you stepped into Dragnauct's territory. I'm the mob, nigga.
Deroy Crews.
I'm the mob, nigga.
Deroy Crews.
I love me some white people.
I'm superior than a lot of blacks because I follow the right culture. Deroy Crews.
I'm the mob, nigga.
Deroy Crews.
I love me some white people.
You know, I've seen these atheists act like a bunch of fags.
Deroy Crews.
I'm the mob, nigga.
Deroy Crews.
I love me some white people.
A woman flashing her beauty. That's like walking in a room with dog treats. Like, why are you bringing those in here? Are you trying to tease me with treats, or what are you doing?
And even clean
I think women are naive.
because of all
I love Jesse Lee Peterson. I think he's got a great mind.
you've done
Need to watch your mouth. Need to watch your goddamn mouth.
to me.
And I'm thinking, brothers, sisters, somebody know this lady. Come get your dog. Like, call off your dog, man. Get her out of here, you know.
Deroy Crews, your life applications officer, signing off. Give me something, and I'll write a video about it. God bless you. Good night.
All right, folks, it is. Sun's starting to set. Okay, so I might have to adjust this, but let's get to it. I wanted to knock out this half. Right now, when am I recording this? Around 5:30. Actually, wife's about to get off. The 2nd of March. So, might upload this later tonight, which I probably will, or tomorrow morning. Don't know. I didn't get a chance to go to the lab. Someone ordered me some lobster bisque, and I'm thinking it might have been from the winter storm because, yeah, my stomach did not agree with it at all. So anyway, let's get to this. This is the second half of Stray Dogs, in quotations, white folks and the mask mandate. If you can figure out what the central thesis is for this fucking video, let me know. I'll send you $50. Because I have no fucking idea. It's a classic Deroy video, meandering in and out of politics, religion, his own weird stream of consciousness where he's somewhat kind of a victim, but not really, depending on what he needs to say. It's strange, but still, Deroy.
I'll accept that. Will I stop being outspoken?
So we're at the part here where he's saying something pretty derogatory, or so it's pretty offensive towards people of Middle Eastern descent. Someone of Middle Eastern descent comes in the fucking room and he's like, well, fuck it. I'm going to just say it, whatever. And then he wonders why he has issues at work with people. He feels like an outcast, right? He feels like a pariah. Can't imagine why.
yeah, maybe when people stop being outspoken, because it's okay for people to be outspoken when I'm in the room, but it's not okay for me to be outspoken when they're in the room. And a lot of people will agree with me, but they don't agree with me. They don't want to agree with me in front of certain people, but yet they can all get together and talk about whatever they want to talk about when my little 5'3.5" behind is in the room, if that has anything to do with it.
So that to me says a lot. People are willing to, just kind of go along when you're there, but not necessarily when you're not. That probably means that you can't handle people disagreeing with you, and they probably picked up on that. And so just so you'll go away, they'll just sort of agree and go, cool, yeah. They'll do that just to placate you. That's what that more than likely is, Deroy. Again, I don't think that you actually understand that, because you've not been a part of the in-group, so you don't actually know. I've been a part of the in-group, but I've been a part of the out-group for most of my life, so I understand both perspectives. And I've been that guy, to have someone just like you who doesn't know a whole lot, who wants to be in on the conversation but can't actually contribute to it, but thinks his opinions are just as valid as anyone else's. Okay. And just so you'll go away. Yeah, okay. Oh, sure, that sounds great. Yeah, just to humor you, right? And so now that's not enough. You want to play at the fucking big kids table, right? You want a seat there, but you don't know how to do it. You're 50-something years old. You still know how to play at the big kids table.
Okay, and I'm not saying it does. I'm just saying it appears that it does. Because why do I have to be afraid when they're not afraid? Why do I have to?
Now notice that he's speaking about the in-group out-group dynamic, being very outspoken about his opinions, but he refers to sort of being tactless as being afraid, right? It has something to do with fear, not mutual respect for a person you're disagreeing with and people around you, being cognizant of who's around you, right? If you're talking about, the different sexes and the difference between, the different sexes, there's a way to go about that. Hey, men are from Mars, women from Venus, all that bullshit, whatever, right? There's a way to discuss that without being derogatory towards women. But Deroy is one of these people who doesn't know how to do that. He only knows how to be curt and be blunt, but at the same time, not be able to preclude himself from being derogatory and offer derision towards people who disagree with him, rather than a cogent response, right, to something that may be put forth that he disagrees with. Yeah, he doesn't really see a distinction there.
I have to be afraid to say what's on my heart when they don't have to be afraid, okay? But the mask mandate and race.
Okay, now we're getting into it. So what does having to wear masks have to do with race? I'm pretty sure all y'all still trying to figure that the fuck out. About halfway through the video, and nobody knows.
I think black folks will agree with me, that we've gone too far with the mask mandate, number one.
Okay, how?
You see white people sitting there talking together. They're talking, and their mask is falling off their nose and all like that.
Which happens if it's not fitted properly.
Who's looking around to see your black behind, to catch your black behind, okay, with your mask falling off your nose? Who's the one who walks into the restaurant or the store and some white dude is so quick to say, "Hey sir, can you pull your mask back over your nose?" when...
What? So, okay, so you walk into someone's establishment, your mask is not being worn properly, and somebody checks you on it. And so your immediate impulse is that it's a race issue. Well, this is odd, Deroy, because I could have sworn, based on the other videos I've reviewed from you in the past, there are no racial issues. Except when something happens to you, then you can sort of pull the race card, as you like to call it, for your personal victimhood. But when other black people pull that card, what's going on with them, and get so mad that they start protesting and all that jazz, then there are no racial issues. So I'm having a hard time understanding, one thing, this really far-fetched scenario where people are telling you to correct yourself because you're not right, because you're not correct, because you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, and that it's immediately a racial issue. Juxtaposed against your positions previously where you said there aren't any racial issues, except when it's something that happens to you that deals with personal prejudice and not systemic discrimination against people of a certain race.
The girl over my shoulder, she's standing too close to me. And she's got her mask down by her nose. Nobody's saying anything to her. You know. I go into Michael's.
Well, if there's a chick and she's probably several inches taller than you, and her mask isn't fitted properly, and they're addressing you, then they're probably going to say something to her. But if you're in front of her, why would they skip over you and then address her instead? I don't understand that.
There's a bunch of white people working there together, and they're all up in each other's faces. They're talking. Whenever you talk, your mask starts to fall down over your nose, and they're laughing. You can see the spit in the air coming out of each other's mouth as they're laughing and talking all loud and everything. My black butt walks up to ask a question with my mask completely over my nose. They freak out. They scatter out like roaches, and the lady's like, "Hold up! What can I do for you?"
So people who know each other probably know the last time they've been tested and have been working with each other for the last few days feel a bit more comfortable talking to themselves rather than random people. Shocker. Huge fucking shocker there. So you, again, violating these ordinances and getting within the 6 feet, and then they go, holy shit, no, you need to get back. That's somehow, again, I'm trying to figure out how this is a racial issue. The first time your mask isn't right. Second time you're within the 6 feet range. So you're in the wrong in both of these scenarios, but somehow it's someone else's problem. And it's also a racial issue on top of that. Do I understand this correctly, Deroy? Again, feel free to correct me, but it just sounds like you're complaining because you aren't doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Sir, 6 feet distance. I mean...
Why would she have to say that if you were already 6 feet?
You know, like, it's almost kind of silly to mix racial issues with the mask mandate.
It is. You're right, it is.
But I really think it's in there.
You really think it's... Okay, so everybody who watches, just in the chat real quick, I know this is not live, have you heard Deroy decry other people for frivolously bringing up racial issues where there are none? Have you listened to this man do that? Just yes in the chat or no in the chat. If you've not watched him, not seen him, no, that's fine. Be honest and be honest with it. I'll tell you personally, I've listened to quite a few videos from this man, and every single time I'll give you a perfect example: the George Floyd situation. He was one of the first people I listened to that said that there was no racial issue. Anything dealing with Black Lives Matter, doesn't matter, good, bad, between. He's the first person to say something. I've noticed this about Deroy. He will deny any sort of systemic discrimination based on race, but he will acknowledge people's personal prejudice against him when it may or may not involve race. That's when it's important to him. So he'll stand by his convictions, right, when it comes to things that are political in nature. But when they get real personal, when they hit close to home, that's when he diverts away from his sort of socio-political ideology.
The other day, well, just last week, I was in Walmart, and you know how you go at the checkout line, and once somebody clears out their buggy and puts everything on the belt, they have them little plastic bars that you can put to separate your stuff from their stuff so that you can keep business moving. You know, keep the line moving or whatever and make things get done quicker. Okay? So I asked the lady, is there a bar over there? And she looked at me like I was bugging her, you know. She says, not really. Not really. What's that mean? Okay? And then she grabbed the bar and handed it to me. Or she put it on the belt. And she put it way back here. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. she, in order for her to reach over and put that bar, okay, way over there, she went against the 6'inch law. But when I began to put my stuff on the belt, then she started like, well, I was hoping you stay back. Well, her and the lady, the old lady that's running the line, matter of fact, she had her mask down below her nose.
I'm just trying to figure out what this has to do with race. Like, it just seems like a really awkward. What is this? Michael's, Joanne. I forgot what the name of the place was, the arts and crafts place. What does this have to do with your race? Were they saying nigga up underneath their breath? Like, what's okay? Cool. They don't want to give you the bar. They don't care about it. And she had to lean over in order to stretch and put something up there. Okay. Then you could have, if you knew. Here's my thing. If I know someone has to come or lean towards me to put something down, I could back up and keep that distance. I could do that. Or we could play this weird game where we're trying to measure what 6 feet is and keep it away from our face, and or we could just be adults about it and then just sort of not cough or anything. I don't know. There are other options here that I think, two adults can sort of figure out between themselves and also stay pretty safe.
They're this close to each other.
But I don't think that's the issue.
Because she's, paying her money and putting her groceries on the table, okay? I got to be at least 5 feet distance from this woman. But yet she's bitching because I want to put my stuff on the belt. She's going to lie to me about the bar to keep me.
Well, she didn't actually lie to you, right? If she would have said no and then looked over and it was there, then yeah, it wouldn't lie. But no, it wouldn't actually a lie.
You know what I'm saying? And then the whole time I'm sitting there patiently waiting and looking at stuff in the eye.
And this is one of the big issues I have with Deroy, because he will be dishonest when it serves him. He's not as bad as G-Man. He's not as bad as Shan. He's not as bad as Rev. Because those folks lie a lot. They lie like they breathe. But Deroy will absolutely misrepresent things to make himself more of a victim. And I've caught him a few times doing that, because in some of the tales he contradicts himself. There was one case, some of y'all may remember, where he was referencing a Law and Order episode, and he had completely changed the ending. And I had seen this episode too, and someone told me the name of the episode and then what season in the episode, and then I went and played it so people could see. I was like, here you go, he's lying again. Like, Deroy absolutely fat. For those of you who are wondering, it's the episode about the lesbian couple. They had a kid, and it was a legal custody battle because I think one of the mothers, the biological mother of the daughter, was in the hospital, and then the wife was trying to get legal custody of the child. And the mother had like bigoted parents and a lawyer that like filled their head with a bunch of fucking homophobic nonsense. And so Deroy's depiction of that was that, well, the child predator woman got a free kid. Like, that was his depiction of it. And that's not what fucking happened at all. But, again, it's Deroy.
I can see her looking at me. I can see her talking to the lady and watching me at the same time. Okay? This is where I'd have to be honest with a lot of black folks, that there is race, the mask mandate exposes a lot of racial tension.
So the mask mandate exposes a lot of the white folks have not needed a medium to be racist. Like they a lot of them sort of do it naturally, and I think this is dumb. This is absolutely dumb. Maybe it's just me being from Louisiana. Maybe it's me actually going through real shit in my life. But this is stupid. So that, like, if you have to reach this hard to find racism, Deroy, you are living in much more of a weird victim vortex than I thought. Like, that's what this is. This is not just regular victimhood. This is a victim vortex that you sucked yourself into. Like, you have to make all these presumptions in order to get just the tiniest bit of racial tension between these white folks at this fucking store. Really? Come on, dude.
It really does. Get on the bus.
Maybe they think you got fucking COVID. Maybe it's that. Maybe they just think you personally have COVID and they don't want to be near you. It might have anything to do with the fact that you're black. It might be that they're just scared because they've never seen a black midget before. It could be that. It could be, a height issue. Maybe you just fucking look funny, which you do. I don't know if I would let you around my wife. Fuck it. It could be so many things. But you immediately went to race, which is what you criticize other people for doing. And I've listened to you fucking do this. But it's okay. And this is why, D-Roy, I know you still watch me. This is why I love you as one of my tards. And I need to rephrase that. You fit perfectly in my menagerie of tards because you can do and say whatever the fuck you want, but let somebody else do it and it becomes wrong. This very thing, all this fucking reaching that you're doing, Deroy, I've listened to you time and time again denounce it. But it's okay because, hey, you're a victim.
Indian girl gets on there. Indian college student gets on there. I get on the bus. I got like my book bag and something else with me. And the you know how they have the thing on the bus that tells you to put your mask over your... I wish I had my mask with me. I'd show you. She was really tripping because my mask was really over my nose, in my opinion, but maybe it was sliding down a little bit because I was trying to fix my headphones while I was trying to get comfortable in my seat. I just got on the bus, and that mask thing went off that says, for your safety and others, please make sure your face is completely covered. Okay. She looks at me, and I mean, I was turned on by it on a physical level because I thought she did it because she felt I was easy to talk to or easy to look me dead in the eye, For once in my life, an Indian girl doesn't mind looking me straight in the face and making a gesture. Okay. I was turned on by it until I got home, then I got offended.
Oh my God. So what? If a chick looks you in the eye, that turns you. That's all it takes, man. Goddamn. There's plenty of Indian chicks that the fuck. My universe look me in the eye. Hey, someone look a little bit too long. Like whatever. Like is that it? Really? But here we go. Deroy does this. If you are new to Deroy, I have to find a video, but there's a video where Deroy is talking about how other races are better than black people, yada yada. There's a black dude with dreads. He's leaned up against a wall. He's smoking, minding his own fucking business. Deroy starts putting this dude down like a motherfucker. He knows this guy's no good. He knows he's fucking trash. Yada. He know all these negative things about this guy. Never met him in his life. He has no clue who this guy is. But just Deroy instinctively just knew this guy was a bad cat. He just knew that he was not someone nice, caring, and helpful and all this shit. And I'm just like, bro, and I went in on him. I absolutely went in on him because that's the sort of prejudice that leads to the shit that he cries about here, right? That's sort of that mentality, and he doesn't get that. But here's a perfect example of the inverse, where he thinks that's a cute Indian chick. Like, okay, cool. Maybe I get it. I don't know how it is to be 5'3", right? Having someone finally show some sort of affection towards you after so long, I guess it's refreshing. I don't know. Like my standard's higher than that. I mean, they just stare at my dick or something. I don't know. But now he's offended. He got home because this chick looked him dead in the eye. Could have been for any reason. But now he's upset. He's going to explain why he was turned on. Now he's mad.
I didn't get offended until I got home because I looked at her and I put the mask I pushed the mask over my nose when I realized, wait, it is over my nose. What's she talking about? But yet,
she didn't say anything.
She nodded at me, and I'm thinking, okay, she's a nurse. Okay, I'll let that slide. You know, she's a damn good looking one at that, you know.
So there's an Indian nurse he's sitting next to on the bus or whatever, and it reminded folks, hey, fix your fucking mask, all that good shit. And she nods to him because this is the second indication here that that Deroy, you're not wearing your shit right. You're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. In the first instance, when you walked in the store, right, they're wanting to make sure that, you know, hey, get your mask straight, and then also keep 6 feet. So that right there tells me that you really don't care about any of these mandates at all. And so you get on the bus here, and the little thing goes off, hey, fix your shit. I don't know why her nationality, or I shouldn't even say nationality, why her ethnic background is important, but the Indian nurse now, that's who she is, instead of Indian girl, she's an Indian nurse, nods to him when he's adjusting his mask wear, his PPE, if you will. So he don't even know if his mask was on right. Probably wasn't.
From head to toe, you know what I mean? And she chose to have this silent discussion clear across the bus with just little tiny me. Okay, I'm turned on. I'm feeling tingles, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm turned on. Okay.
Maybe she just sees your little feet kicking up underneath the seat and it reminds her of her fucking nephew. Maybe that's what it is.
Now look around me, and you got these white people sitting right next to me. Their mask is down by their nose because they talking. When you talk, the mask comes off your nose, and there's spit flying everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Because they're talking all loud and all like that. And I'm looking around me. I'm the only one on the bus that got his mask over his nose. But she wanted to have this conversation with me.
She looked at you. My God, I see what you ladies go through now, just a little bit. You know, I now see what you all go through. Is it really this? Like I can't even answer this as a guy. I have no answer for this. She looked at. How do you know she was even? Okay, now she's across the bus. I thought she was right next to him the way he was talking, but then she's across the bus and she just nods acknowledgingly in his general direction. She could have been nodding at the dude next to him. She could have been just nodding in general. She could have been nodding off. She could anything, and he's getting his fucking little pee-pee hard because this Indian chick who's a nurse for all we know has somewhat acknowledged his existence on public transportation. Do I got that right? May or may not even have been acknowledging him, just someone in his direction, maybe.
I don't know what that was about. Maybe she was. Maybe I'm looking at it wrong. Maybe she was signaling me to tell the people behind me and across from me to put their mask.
Could be. Here we go. That's another possibility.
Over their nose. I don't know. But I felt offended when I got home that she had a conversation with me with all these other people around.
She did. How do you have what is a silent conversation, Deroy? I want to, you make up these fucking terms and shit. No one that I know says the shit that you say. I know some older folks. I've actually asked a few older folks too about some of the phrases you have, and I've come to the conclusion that you just make them up right as you go along. You're trying to articulate yourself the best way you can, and you have your own. You have a Deroy lexicon, and we just need to figure out what the fuck is going on there. But what the problem here for those watching is that Deroy makes a lot of presumptions. And I mean way more presumptions than the average person. And then he plays with those presumptions, and then he lets them sort of impact his life and his mentality. Right? He'll have a terrible day at work because he's presumed so many things that he has no evidence for. Right? Because even here, he has no idea. He can't even remember if he had his mask on right. But he's presuming everything else about this. But I want y'all to pay attention too. Listen to how the story flows. You're learning details about the scenario as you go along, but he's having to sort of go back and fill in the gaps because, again, you can agree with me or disagree with me. The way that it was first phrased, I thought the chick was sitting next to him. But then now as he retells that section over and over again, there's little more details every time he goes back over it. So now it's an Indian chick, so now she's a nurse, so now they're not sitting next to each other, but instead they're across the bus from one another. And in fact, there are other people next to him that have some hardware issue with their mask as they're talking. And so he doesn't even know if she was nodding acknowledgingly at all, or even just sort of just in his general direction. And so he's personally offended by that. But what may or may not even be the case. He has no idea. So this is sort of what makes listening to him a struggle, because you're not going to get the whole picture unless he repeats the same thing 6 times and then gives you all the details throughout each iteration of it.
Right next to her and myself that ain't following the mask mandate, okay? But everywhere I go, there's white
Still has nothing to do with his race at all.
people of all people that are flipping out about this mask thing. They're taking this mask mandate too far, especially with other races, especially with black folks, okay? And I gotta admit, more black people than anybody else have a habit of having their masks under their nose.
So in your own story, everybody who had the mask malfunction were white, but now all of a sudden, overall, it's now black. And notice, and I'm pretty sure you folks have noticed this, anytime there's something wrong or something bad being done, it's always black people. Y'all pick that up with Deroy? Yeah.
What you don't understand about COVID is that
Now he's going to teach us.
the math, if I know anything at all, just one little pinch, which that might be all I know, about science and medicine as far as the spread of diseases, the flu, any kind of flu virus of any sort or anything like that, your mouth sends out the most powerful point of contact of a virus. As far as spreading it comes out of your mouth. The easiest and most convenient port of receiving a virus is right through your nose. It comes in your inhalation process, which is mainly with your nose, your nostrils.
Yeah, we'll give him points. We'll give him points for that.
So the mouth gives it, the nose receives it. That's why.
Not necessarily. That's not completely precise, but you know what? It's close enough. That's root of transmission. Close enough.
You got to have both your mouth and your nose covered up, because they both do both, but one gives it more, the other one receives it more. Okay? They both give and receive, but they both, one gives more, one receives more. And when you have the mask over both your nose and your mouth, it's a symbol. It's saying you don't want to give the virus, neither do you want to receive it. You got it over your mouth because you don't want to give it. You got it over your nose because you don't want to receive it. Okay? I understand that with a little bit
a more concise way to put this, but
science and medicine that I know. Okay?
Close enough, Deroy. Let's move on.
Flus and viruses and so on and so on. Okay. But white folks are taking this virus too far. I mean, they are the ones that are freaked out by it more than anybody else. I mean, I go outside my door and, you know what I'm saying? Like, these people that are like immigrants or whatever.
I'm just going to pause real quick. This is a pre-recorded video if you haven't figured that out. I would like to ask somebody in the chat to stop being a hoe. I'm not going to say your name, but just stop being a hoe. Just for this video. Thank you.
They don't make as much of a big deal, especially outside, about their mask as much as...
Especially what immigrants is he talking about? Like that's literally anyone who's not born here in the U.S. So who are these immigrants? Where they? I'm guessing he's talking about Mexicans because usually when he says immigrants, that's couched to mean Mexicans, and I know he has Mexicans that live near him because he's talked about them before. But well, let's see if he specifically says, okay, this group of immigrants here that live yada yada yada, and I've observed whatever.
They do inside. Matter of fact, some of these people are wearing masks inside. I know several people that wear their masks all day at home. Okay?
They might be carriers.
Especially when somebody in your household has recently died, or somebody in your household has recently had the virus, or you had the virus or whatever. You go to freaking out. It's like you're wearing a mask in your own home because you don't want your kids to get it or you don't want your wife to get it. I know a lady who has a daughter who has sickness. She has a sick daughter at home. Her daughter's grown, but her daughter's sick. She wears her mask, and she makes her daughter wear her mask all day long. The only way they can take their mask off is when they're not in the same room with each other.
So I'm guessing the daughter is immunocompromised, right? So that's probably what's going on, and she might be immunocompromised from probably the medication she takes from an underlying disorder, autoimmune disorder, who knows? But that's what it sounds like.
They have to be away from each other to take their mask off in their own home. To me, give me the goddamn virus. I'm not doing that. Okay?
So let me get this is grand wisdom. So rather than saying I'm immunocompromised and the person I'm living with is not, and they could carry the virus and have it affect me and possibly kill me, I'll just go ahead and just get the virus because wearing a mask indoors is too much of a hassle. Makes complete sense, Deroy. I mean, living is too much trouble, right? And it's why not just say fuck it and just, yeah.
I'd rather get tested and assume that I can walk around without getting infected. Okay? I don't want to be walking around in my own home wearing a mask because somebody else lives there, okay? That's crazy, but, you know, more people are wearing their mask in the house around their own family members than they are out in...
Still not sure this has to do with race. Has anybody else made the connection that he's making to how this become a racial issue?
Public around strangers, okay? It's goofy. It's getting out of control. It's getting out of hand. You know what I'm saying? Now you can get on the airplane. I don't know if you've seen that video. You can get on U.S. Airlines or whatever and wear the wrong mask. And they'll make you get off the plane because they don't like your mask. It's not the right material or something. I'm like, oh my God, you gotta be kidding me. Okay? But in closing about the stray dog, I think we all go through that effect. I feel like a stray dog in any place.
Okay, now we're back on the stray dog, but he feels like a pariah. All right.
Where I'm made to feel like I don't fit in. Where I'm made to feel like like you expect something from me that you can't give.
Like,
if you're the one who invited us all to the party, why do I have to be the life of the party? And then if I try to be the life of the party, why does that not get, because we're so silent, so I decided to be the life of the party. So why do I not get any, respect for trying to be, trying to break the ice, which I was invited here. But I don't get no respect for trying to be sociable. I don't want to be considered stuck up, but I try to be sociable, and it's like oh, well, I said something you didn't expect me to say. So now I'm creepy.
Okay, so there we go. That's what I was waiting. Because like something doesn't. When anytime Deroy is struggling to sort of depict a scenario with him and other people, there's a few phases he goes through. It's sort of the hemming and hawing phase at the very beginning, where he'll sort of introduce the scenario, and he doesn't really tell you exactly what goes on. He doesn't tell you his role, specifically what he said, specifically what this person said, and the responses. He's not going to do that. He's going to tell you the bits and pieces he thinks is important to get across the point that he needs, which is he's a victim, right? So that every Deroy story, he's a victim. TLDR. So here we have the same exact thing where he was invited, and he was invited to be the life of the party, but not really. But so there was no life of the party, so he decided to break the ice. And then he's sort of almost being punished for trying to be the life of the party, so to speak. And so now he's like, well, why is this happening? Now all of a sudden I'm creepy. No. There was a social event, Deroy, and you said something fucking crazy that was creepy, and sane, somewhat well-adjusted adults went, that's weird. And went, wow, I kind of expected the creepy guy to say something creepy. It's not a surprise, bro. It's not. If you're not good at that sort of thing, if people are saying you're creepy, then you know what? Say, hey, didn't mean to come off that way. Quick PSA. Quit being a hoe in the chat, please. Let's no hoe-ness tonight, please. Thank you. I'm not really good at socializing, and I have no idea, and I just say crazy shit sometimes. Sorry, right? And it's happened to me, right? It took me a while to understand where people's and there's just certain humor that I reserve for people that have my sense of humor, but that takes time to sort of learn, and you have to gauge people. But Deroy, I don't see you doing that. I just see you sort of hanging out with people because, well, you were invited, and you probably don't hang around the best people in the world either if you're the one that they're inviting you, because they probably already know you. If I had to guess, I have to venture guess, it's people you work with. If I had to guess, Deroy, and I don't know whether you'll talk about this, whoever these group of people are, but if I had to guess, because there's only two groups of people you typically hang, or three groups of people that you typically hang around, right? Your family, your blood relatives, and some in-laws, the people you work with, right? And people from your church. Those are the three groups of people you've always identified that are in your social circles. You don't have too many people outside of that. So if these are your friends and family, you wouldn't be a pariah from your own, admission and from stuff that you've shown me. But I don't think that your church would have that sort of response because, you're pretty tight-knit with your church. So I'm guessing this has to be people from work, which you've already had some contention with, which you actually talked about earlier in the video. So I don't know why you would expect anything different if they already don't like you.
But yet, I was okay with you being the life of the party because you invited us. But you want me to be the life of the party because you...
Now, I'm wondering if someone said that to him or he's presuming that. If I had to guess, he's presuming that.
You feel that I have to show my credentials in some kind of way or something. I have to show that I'm a part of something, okay?
Or maybe someone was like, hey, Deroy, what are your thoughts on such and such? Or encourage you to socialize at a party? That might be what it is.
And that's what I go through in my day-to-day life. Like right now, in my apartment, I don't feel creepy. But
well, why would you?
A lot of people, and it ain't just white people, everybody has creepy feelings about blacks. Most of those feelings...
Hold on. Wait. Well, okay. So we went from you saying creepy shit at a party, which we don't really know what it was, then it became creepy stuff because, well, black people creepy stuff or something. How did we inject race in here again?
Are necessary because of what black people has put America through. Yeah, I said it. with black people put America
Yes, because Tyrone down the street represents me.
through. With school, with violence, with, you know, all the BLM garbage, okay?
See?
And us supporting it, everybody supporting it. We dug a hole for ourselves by...
Ain't no we. Deroy, you do nothing at all other than perpetuate certain negative racial stereotypes, okay? If there's any hole being dug, it's by you, okay? There's plenty of worthless ass niggas out there. Trust me, I'm related to some. But they don't represent me. The fact that you that you think every ignorant Negro out there represents all of black people, that means there's something wrong with you. That's a Deroy problem. I get it. We live in a society that is going to just sort of pigeonhole people based on what they look like. That's the society we live in. You can choose to be an active participant in that ignorance, or you can fight against that and base people off the fucking merit of their character. But it's easier for you to pigeonhole people because you're a simpleton. And that's what simpletons do. So I don't understand, Deroy, and this is the weird little mental dance that you do. You don't like these negative racial stereotypes and how they're applied to you, but you'll repeat them. But you'll perpetuate them. So why even get on here and complain about it if you are an active participant in spreading that same nonsense?
By playing a race card for 50 years or more, okay?
So what are you doing in this video?
When Jim Crow was
What are you doing in this video, Deroy? This is exactly what the fuck you've been doing.
dead, it was time to let the race card go. But what did we do? In 2021, we got worse with it, okay?
Did we,
so
Deroy?
now, it doesn't really bother me whenever I get on a bus or something and
Here it comes.
the lady behind me, the lady in front of me doesn't want me sitting behind her. I can obviously tell that she's uncomfortable with me sitting behind her. Uncomfortable sitting behind you in dress clothes? The only thing that looks spooky on me is my mask, which is mandated.
Again, how do you know that this lady's creeped out? What is she doing? And how do you know that she just doesn't like being on public transportation?
Oh, maybe the black jacket, which is just a regular old black jacket that's waterproof or whatever. It's suitable for rain, snow, and sunshine all together. Had that jacket for years. What part of me is creepy?
So he went from saying creepy things at a party he was invited to him just generally being creepy himself, supposedly. Well, how are these two things even remotely connected? These are two separate events. The lady on the bus, he's guessing, again, Deroy and presumptions, that she thinks that he's creepy and she's behaving a certain way because he definitely knows this lady. And it has to do specifically with Deroy being creepy. He knows this.
But I sat behind this, maybe I felt that way because she was kind of cute. I don't know.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Thank you for validating what the fuck I was saying. Thank you, Deroy.
She just made me feel creepy because I was looking at her instead of looking at the situation.
So you were doing something creepy, you were creeping on her, and that's why. So it's a guilty fucking conscience. That's what that is, Deroy. That's what that is.
But the situation, I don't know. Maybe she just feels creepy about anybody sitting behind her. Maybe she would feel creepy if a white dude
all
sat
these
behind
mental
her.
gymnastics he has to go
With his
through.
mask all the way over his nose, wearing a black jacket, dress pants, and a vest, and a white shirt behind the vest. His work outfit, his uniform. Maybe she would have felt creepy and uncomfortable if a white dude was sitting behind her. I don't think so. My point is, I believe she did that on purpose because she thinks she's supposed to act like that in my presence as I am a black American. That's just my personal belief.
So she's okay. So she's trained to be uncomfortable because you're black and you sat next to her. So how did I just? I'm at a loss. I'm really at a loss here. How does he know any of this? Because he's just guessing. Like, he's just making up stuff as he goes along. And even by his own admission, he's been creeping on her. So I think it's a guilty conscience. And in order to sort of alleviate the anxiety, he just fabricates this whole scenario, right? And all her fucking motivations and shit.
Why?
In order to sort of to dissuade himself from saying, you know what, maybe I am just a creepy motherfucker.
Please don't yell.
Here's a little money to go towards a workout video for Uncle Deroy Ruckus's lazy eye.
Fucker. Like, what's going on here?
I think they purposely act like that.
Welcome back,
Because they
Skylar.
think it's what they're supposed to do. Even if there's no reason for you to feel creepy or feel that I'm creepy, you have to act like I am, because that is our relationship that we are into in 2021. That's where we stand. Matter of fact, for years we've been this way with Asian people. And as much as I love Asian women, I love them. Don't know nothing about them. I just love them. I don't know what it is.
Okay, we're done. We're done, folks. That's it.
I am David Attenborough. And this is Todd and Nate. Todd and Nate.
I sell barrel rolling, barrel rolling. 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 I sell. Fuck you! Fuck you!
Go fuck yourselves. Go fuck yourselves.
Fuck you! Fuck you!
Go fuck yourselves. That's right, folks.
Goddamn motherfucking go! Motherfucking go! Motherfucking go! Goddamn motherfucking go! Motherfucking go! Motherfucking go! I sell barrel rolling, barrel rolling. 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 Barrel rolling, barrel rolling. I sell barrel rolling, barrel rolling. I sell barrel rolling, barrel rolling. I sell barrel rolling, barrel rolling.
Because I'm not going to have the lexicon out there for my name, JWE Revelation News, of having a small fucking dick. I don't. I have a normal size Eastern European slack. I have slack. Shanny, do I hang a bit? You hang a bit. Do I flop? You flop. See? I got floppage, folks. Hot damn! Hot damn!
Jenny, you're not a Christian. You're a whore.
I have slack. Hot damn! Hot damn!
You can't even be honest with yourselves. That's sad.
Because I'm not going to have the lexicon out there for my name, JWE Revelation News, of having a small fucking dick. Small fucking dick.
Jason.
Small fucking dick. Small fucking dick.
He's got bigger feet than you.
But yeah, you have to say that. Like,
I'm sorry.
yeah, just fucking leave it alone. I don't want people to know that.
Jason, chill out.
Fuck you! Fuck you!
Go fuck yourselves. Go fuck yourselves.
Fuck you! Fuck you!
Go fuck yourselves.
That's right, folks.
I sell barrel rolling, barrel rolling. 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 I sell barrel rolling, barrel rolling.
Your arguments are stupid.
You're a punk ass bitch.
If we are free, I can go out and kill that motherfucker that I don't like right now.
Your goddamn motherfucking go!
Can you say it? Say it right now for me.
You're evil fucking woman!
Go watch Black